Hello, welcome to Big W Barbecue. Today we're going to be smoking up a delicacy here in Iowa. That is sweet corn. So today's going to be a little bit of an experiment. I personally have never smoked corn out on the smoker before. I've done it on the grill numerous times, but yeah, I've never gave it a shot on the smoker. So I've got 3 ears of corn here, and I'm going to do a different variation for each ear here and see which one turns out better. So the first ear over here, we're actually going to leave it as is. We're not going to prepare it in any way. We're just going to toss it on the grill as is. This is the simplest way, and yeah, I want to see how that turns out. The second version here, we're actually going to remove all the husk and the silk, and we're going to wrap it in tin foil. And then the final version over here, we're going to kind of do a mix between the two. We're going to pull back the husk. We're not going to completely remove it. And then we're going to add some butter to it, and then we're going to put it all back in together, tie it up, and yeah, we're going to see which one turns out the best there. So let's go ahead and prepare the corn. So for the first ear, we're not doing anything with it. The second ear here is going to be the one that's going to be wrapped in tin foil. And so I'm going to go ahead and shuck this. Okay, got all the husk and silk off there. We're going to go ahead and get a decent size. So in both variation 2 and 3, we're going to be putting this butter on here. And what it is, I went ahead and set out half a stick of butter, let it soften, and then I added half a teaspoon of rub to it, just give it a little more flavor. So let's see how it goes. Be good. Then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up tight. Ends are sealed there. Variation number 2 is complete. So then for the final one here, we're going to remove some of this husk, and I'm actually going to take a couple layers here and completely remove it. With this variation, I'm kind of hoping that to be able to get the smoke flavor to the corn, so I think if there's less husk there, it'll help accomplish that there. So, okay, so then we're going to just kind of peel this back about 3/4 way down. You're going to go ahead and remove all of this silk. Okay, things are looking pretty good. Doesn't need to be perfect by any means there. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the same step here with the butter. Alrighty. Then I'm going to cut off a little bit here off the top here, because I'm going to end up tying off the top. Okay, and then we're going to put the husk back on. We're going to take a piece of discarded husk here. And we're going to tie at the top. If you got a twist tie or something like that, that works too. You don't have to do this by any means. I'm just doing it just to kind of help seal things up. Perfect. So we've got our 3 variations here. So how we're going to cook this is it's going to be out on the Weber Smoky Mountain. We're going to have a few chunks of apple wood. We're going to have a pit temperature of about 250 degrees. So one thing I want to mention here, if you decide to grill these, you're going to be cooking over a medium heat, and it's probably only going to take about 20 minutes or so. Reason being is it's a little bit hotter in a grill, and you're closer to the heat source there. So and you do want to make sure that you kind of rotate it every 5 minutes or so, just to kind of keep it from burning there. But out here on the smoker, since we're going to be cooking at about 250 degrees, it's relatively low, as well as the corn is actually away from the heat source. So we should be all right with not being too worried about burning it, I guess. So yeah, so I'm looking at probably 45 minutes to an hour, but I'm going to kind of keep an eye on that. Like I said, I've never done it out in the smoker before, so just going to kind of keep an eye on it and see about how the doneness goes there. So yeah, let's go ahead and head out to the grill. Got a pit temperature of about 240 degrees, so I went ahead and threw on my 3 ears of corn. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and let this sit. I'll probably check on it in about a half hour. So it's been about a half hour now. I'm just gonna go ahead and rotate these guys a little bit. See, the husk is starting to turn brown there, so things are progressing nicely here. We'll go ahead and leave them on for another 20 minutes or so, and we'll see how things are there. It's been just under an hour now. Let's see how things are doing. Great. I think these things are done. Let's go ahead and bring them inside. Back inside now. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the rest of this husk and silk, and we'll be ready to test her out. Move this over to a plate. Alrighty, so over here on my right, your left, we have the corn that we left in the husk. Didn't do anything to it, just popped it out on the grill. The middle one here is the one that we completely moved all the husk and the silk, put some butter on, and wrapped it up in tin foil. And then the final one was the one that we pulled back the husk, put butter on it, and then put that husk back around it and tied it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more of the same butter I put on before, and we'll try it out. Okay, I'm gonna try the one that we left in the husk. Then I'll try the one that was in the tin foil. And finally, the corn that we removed the husk and added it back. So they're all very, very good. A couple comments I want to make here. The one that we left in the husk didn't do anything to, was by far the simplest prep. It tastes pretty good actually. I think the corn or the husk, it kept everything nice and tight in there, and so it kind of steamed, and everything's very tender and juicy. So yeah, that was very good. The one here in the middle that was wrapped in the tin foil here tastes a little bit more done compared to the other two. I think it was just because the moisture was really locked in there, and so I think that just cooked a little bit harder there. And then the final one here that we removed the husk and added it back, there's actually a pretty good smoke flavor there, so I'm pretty impressed with that. So I guess my final recommendation here is, I guess it kind of depends on what you're going for. If you want to keep it simple, easy, go ahead and just throw the whole ear on. I mean, there's no damage in there. The silk actually came off a lot easier than it does when it's not cooked. Then the middle one there was probably my least favorite of the three, and it was a little bit more work to prepare, and you have to use tin foil for that. And then the final one I think is probably my favorite. It's still got that tenderness, but yet it gives a little bit of a smoke flavor to it, so it's kind of a nice addition. So I guess if I had to do it again, I guess I would leave the husk on either way. Both cases there, it turned out really well. However, I'd love to hear from you on what your preference is. Any other variations, I guess, on how you grill corn. I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, so please leave a comment in the message, like the video, and if you like what you're seeing here, please consider subscribing. As always, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you later.